My name is Anthony Smith.
Diversity in emergence Christianity. Yeah, I was about to start a blog post on that. There is the way that we deal with diversity in this country, I find, well, I'll just say it like this. For me, it's hard to talk about diversity outside the purview of friendship. For me, those who are part of or consider themselves participants in emergence Christianity, I think it's important to talk about friendship within that context, especially when you think about emergence and just the whole metaphor, that scientific metaphor of emergence theory of thought, how things sort of start off simple but they go into complex systems and networks and things like this. One of the things about networks is that people become a part of networks because they share a certain ethos, share language, they share meaning, they share language and ideas and symbols and so on. So you can't really force a network to come into existence. You can't force diversity in a situation where, especially where people do not have a shared ethos or meaning. For those of us who are really interested in it, and I would say that we all would be interested in the issue of diversity, but I would hope that we would talk just as equally about the virtues and the practices, necessary practices of friendship. You can have diversity, but you can still have unconscious racial habits still operating in your life. You can invite the token Negro to come and sit down with you and give you his ideas about things, yet you share very little with each other. You have no friendship. That in itself can be an act of racism, unconscious racial habit. A lot of the issues that we have are not intentional in the sense of they're consciously done. I don't think people intentionally leave people out of the conversation. I think we're still dealing with a 500-year-old narrative of white supremacy that will take a lot of not just political moves, which is the way that we've tried to counter against white supremacy in this country, with political moves, civil rights, things like this. But I think there's another level, though, and I think this is where the gift of emergence Christians and missional Christians have a part to play, is the re-emphasis of spiritual disciplines. Because spiritual disciplines get to the unconscious self, things that are under the surface. You can have certain political moves forcing people into the arena of diversity, but yet you're still not dealing with the unconscious racial narratives that play out in people's lives. So if I have a conference and I force people to make this a diverse situation, you're still not dealing with unconscious racial narratives. What do you do in a situation? I think it's important for emergence Christians to talk about how spiritual disciplines can get to the unconscious racial narratives of our culture. One of those is the discipline of spiritual friendship. One of those is examen, ancient examen. These time-honored ancient Christian practices can actually help us get to the unconscious. For me, that is the roadblock to true diversity. Question about spiritual friendship. Are you engaging in friendship with others simply because they meet or they're useful for your own political ends, cultural, social ends or interests? Or are you interested in friendship with others who may be different than you because you all find each other on a meaningful journey together toward the good, with virtue, to a social good together, as opposed to forcing your political interest upon them, whatever they may be. Because a lot of times people will do that in the guise of friendship. Matter of fact, they call those friendships of usefulness or friendships of utility, right? Which we see prevalent in our culture. Are you practicing that kind of friendship, or are you practicing the friendship that we see honored by the sacred text, that of journeying toward the good? A question, I guess deeper question would be, what would that look like, the journey towards the good, the sacred journey towards the good as friends in the realm of racial diversity, with a large network of people that are involved with things like, say, emergence Christianity? What does that look like? What are the material practices, the conversations that we need to have that kind of friendship and journey?